Coming up,
The Brangus cross was just more profitable for us and did a better job what we wanted to do.
They're right up there at the best cattle that we feed when it comes to growth.
And a lot of times spend 2-3 days away from water.
They're the cross, for me, really work.
proven performance and profit in extreme environments. The Brangus story is next on The American Rancher. Hello and welcome to The American Rancher. I'm Pam Minnick. Back in the 1940s, Brangus cattle were developed out of the need for adaptability and performance in extreme environments. Today, we'll talk with ranchers who have tested the breed against many other types of cattle. But at the end of the day, they trust their paychecks to Brangus.
Brangus cattle were developed by researchers at Louisiana State University in the late 40s. And their objective was to combine two breeds of cattle, Brahman and Angus, that would accomplish two things, essentially. Would increase or improve the beef quality, which Brahman are lacking, and would increase the heat tolerance, which Angus are lacking. So by putting the two breeds together and finding the right combination of Angus and Brahman, we're able to come up with a breed of cattle that, through the years, has proven can produce high-quality beef and yet thrive in a hot, humid, or hot, dry environment. Both breeds, Angus and Brahman, are both notorious maternal breeds. So they're highly productive. They're very fertile. Compared to other breeds, they have very high fertility. A lot of that comes from, you have two great breeds of cattle, but also heterosis adds to that. And longevity, that's one of the things they're really known for, is the cows last a long, long time, which dramatically improves the bottom line of a ranch to have cows have calves till they're 13 or 14 instead of 7 or 8. Out west, they'll travel many miles to find grass. Their heat tolerance comes from their ability to sweat. Horses sweat, people sweat. Most cattle don't sweat well. Part of the Brahman influence is it allows Brangus cattle to sweat, which is a natural cooling thing. So in hot environments, they do extremely, extremely well. They're well adapted to it. People frequently think of Brangus in the southeast, where it's hot and humid. But as you get into the desert west, where the pastures are huge, 100,000 acres, it's not an unusual sized pasture in Nevada, for example. One of the toughest things about managing a ranch like that is getting cattle to go to the edges of the pasture and harvest the grass that's there. These cattle will do that. It doesn't bother them in a 100-degree day being 10 miles away from the water tank. They'll get out and work and find the grass.
Frosty Tipton operates T-Quarter Circle Ranch, a cow-calf operation in the high desert of northwest Nevada. His ranch has generations of experience in this demanding environment.
Started probably before 1880 by a couple of people named Perkins and Trousdale. In fact, the Trousdale is where the T for T-Quarter Circle comes from. The ranch has used that iron since about 1881 or 2. The family bought the place from Trousdale in somewhere around 1913. This area around Winnemucca, and we're about 45 miles by 20 miles that we run our cattle. There are not very many fences, so they're pretty much open range like the old West was. And about 500,000 acres that our cattle use, but on each edge there's neighbors that have grazing permit too. And we winter out and summer in is the easiest way to explain it. We start turning our cattle out after we wean them and process them around the 1st of October. And it takes them about a month or a little more to work their way out of the fields and just go to about 10 or 12 different water sites in the winter range. That it takes them a month and a half to spread all out. Nevada's always been a little short of water. We grow a lot of forage, and sometimes we just can't even use it all. A lot of seasons, Nevada doesn't have enough cattle in the whole state to eat what feed is produced in Humboldt County, which we're in right now. So, all right, this is greasewood. It's in the goosefoot family, and a lot of range people think it's poisonous, but it's not very poisonous this time of year, at least. And there's a lot of they're male and female plants, so there's some of them females have cones on them, and if the cattle can knock it off or it falls off naturally, the protein is as high as 40% on straight cones. And I can pull some off and show you. Well, anyway, that is almost 40%, and the cattle will actually knock it off and eat it off the ground, so they don't have to get too much of the stems. And it's really high in protein, and their face will get very dirty from the dirt that and the brush that they knock off to get these cones. It's really good feed, but at a certain time of year, it's more utilized by the cattle than anything else. You see, I'm gonna get a cone there. Almost looks like a little tiny pine cone there. And they really love those. And it's a very good feed. There's a lot of Indian rice grass here that they use too at the very same time. This is the Indian rice grass. It was a critical plant for the Native Americans that lived here. They ground that seed up for kind of a flour. Probably cooked something similar to what we now call tortillas. The seed. They have a little thread off of in the summer, when it gets wet, it'll actually dig itself into the ground. I don't know if I can get one of them out of there or not. Oh yeah, see the tail? It's like needle and thread. And when the rain hits, it will plant that. It'll plant itself. That tail will whip around and screw itself right into the ground. And the Indians utilize that seed, and I've seen deer and antelope lick that seed up when it falls off on the ground. So the cattle in this country almost have to learn what they're going to eat. We don't usually buy outside cattle. I think you could if they were young enough, but it gets to be really hard to educate an older cow as to what to eat, where the waters are, how far they've got to go to water, and all of that.
Paul Young is a fourth-generation rancher who runs a high desert cow-calf operation with his family just outside Austin, Nevada.
I've run about every kind of cattle you can run. I started with Herefords. I've even had Scottish Highlanders. I've had Keeninas. I've had Maine Anjutes. I've had Beefmaster. I've had Brangus. I've had Angus. I've had them all. The reality is, the reason I've gone back to the Brangus cattle is number one is their doability, and number two is, in this country, it's a long ways between water holes. And I've got to have cattle that'll range out anywhere from 3 to 5 miles from a water hole, and then trail back in and get a drink of water. And a lot of these old short-legged Angus cows, and nothing against them, they're great cows in a pasture, but out here they just don't cut it.
In the winter range, we use almost exclusively wells with big water tanks to water the cattle, and they're about, I'd say, an average of 5 miles apart. And the cows learn to work between several of the wells in a week to 3 week system, and they will go out 4 or 5 miles from water and just wait there until they're thirsty, and then when they decide to go to water, they may pick a different well that's closer than the one they previously watered at, and they'll work a big circle and a lot of times spend 2-3 days away from water, and that becomes an issue with our bulls. Often some of the English breeds don't travel very far away from the water troughs, so we've gone with Brangus, and in the past we've used Beefmaster and Brayford, but Brangus is extremely easy to market, so that's why we've stuck with them. And the bulls travel with the cows, and that's really important, because we go from, most of the waters are at about 42 to 4,300 feet in elevation, and yet these mountains are 7,000 to more. In the winter range, we don't have anything much over about 7,000 feet, but those old bulls need to go up with that cow all late winter and early spring if we're going to get a calf the next fall.
Ultimately, though, I've found these Brangus cattle take less maintenance and less hands-on for me out in this country than other cattle. She goes and just does her thing. I don't have to see her. She brings a calf home. That's fine with me. I'll turn her back out and let her go do her thing. Less I have to mess with them, the better I like it.
After the break,
The Brangus cross was just more profitable for us and did a better job what we wanted to do.
learn how Brangus cattle caught the attention of one rancher south of the Mason-Dixon line. You're watching The American Rancher. Stay with us.
Cattle producers know that about 20% of heifers supply the next generation of calves, and that the best offspring don't always come from the prettiest mothers. Identity Beef from Neogen reports 16 traits and 3 indexes. It's a proven tool for selecting replacement heifers, enabling you to identify superior animals in traits like heifer pregnancy and stayability. Informed decisions lead to profitable results and a more secure future. Contact us today to put Identity Beef to work for you and your next generation.
Built with tomorrow's market in mind, the elite offering of Gene Trust bulls at Soon Cattle Company, March 24, 2020, will highlight the spring sales season in North America. For over a quarter of a century, cattlemen across the country have relied on this progressive program in seeking the best of the best in the beef industry. With 160 Brangus and Ultrablack bulls built for the long haul, Eureka, Kansas is the place to be March 24th. You'll be glad you made the trip.
Reproductive success is critical in every profitable cow-calf operation. That's why you need effective, easy breeding with VitaFerm Concept Aid. High concentrations of organic trace minerals and vitamin E found in Concept Aid will ensure more of your cows breed back faster. Plus, you'll be giving your herd the AmaFerm advantage, leading to healthier, heavier, more uniform calves at weaning. VitaFerm Concept Aid. Effective, easy breeding.
Take control of current market conditions on Superior Livestock's weekly video auction. Register your lot load cattle by Tuesday, sell them on Thursday, putting you 2 days from money with the largest cattle marketing network in North America. Superior Livestock's weekly video auction has over 8,000 active and qualified buyers, and they're paying top dollar. Yep. Jump in. The bidding is hot. Call us or click superiorlivestock.com to learn more.
Welcome back to The American Rancher. Brangus cattle are delivering performance to ranches in harsh environments across the country. Adaptability and hardiness are key traits for the breed's success. But one of the most impressive developments in the Brangus breed is the creation of Ultrablack Brangus bulls.
Several years ago, we had basically a line extension from Brangus to what we call Ultrablacks or Ultra Reds, depending on color.
Your Ultrablacks are just, they take a Brangus cow and breed her back to an Angus bull. And so instead of having your straight Brangus, you get a little more Angus influence in them.
So it's an extra dose of Angus in a normal Brangus package. Well, that allows our breed to move further north, up into a lot of fescue country. They still have cold winters, but they have hot, tough summers with a lot of fescue. There's still enough Brahman in that recipe that those cattle thrive and do well in the difficult environments in the summertime. Now you can breed for a solid color, which has value in the marketplace. They thrive and have very high fertility and cow longevity in hot, harsh environments. And then when you send the calves to the feedlot, produce high quality beef product. So we can satisfy the consumer on one end, the producer on the other.
I've gone a lot to these Ultrablack bulls because they carry enough of the Brangus in them that I get the hybrid vigor of the Bos Taurus, and yet I still don't show enough sheath or enough leather on those that the buyers dock me on the calf prices. In my opinion, you're kind of getting the best of both worlds. You're getting the carcass merits and some of the different things out of the Angus side of the industry, and yet you're getting the doability and the survivability and, you know, get out and hustle from the Brangus side of the female on those cattle. And so really I kind of think they're the cross that for me really work.
John Warman is a producer in Morrilton, Arkansas. His custom harvest and Brangus heifer sales are augmented by a cow-calf operation that is transitioning to straight Brangus influence, including the exclusive use of Ultrablack bulls.
We're here in the River Valley along the Arkansas River in central Arkansas. We've got a 1,500 acre ranch here that we raise cattle on. me and my family. I have a wife and 6 children, so it's pretty much a family operation. We were in the dairy business, and we were at the point we were wanting to transition out of dairy and more into beef. We bought some cattle from other places that were more Englishy or colored type cattle, and we tried crossbreeding with a couple different beef breeds, and we moved to Brangus because we just didn't feel like we were getting the hardiness and the vigor that we needed. The Brangus cross was just more profitable for us and did a better job what we wanted to do. And it worked better for us here in our particular environment. Here in central Arkansas, along this river, we've got a lot of heat, a lot of humidity. We've got a lot of big pastures that are pretty well wide open. The Brangus breed has just held up better than the other breeds that we've had here. They stay out in it and grazing during the summer, a lot of insects. We background calves here as well. We grow a lot of corn for silage, and we contract some calves from other farmers. They bring them here, and we background those for them as well. We have some traps that we wean our own calves in, and same as like the cows, we have a lot of open ground there at our traps, and the heat and humidity just does not affect those Brangus yearlings than it does the other breeds. I brought all these Ultrablack bulls in with our humidity and the heat that we have. They went right to work. We didn't have any issues with them trying to lay off, stay in the shade, find a water hole. They stayed right there with the cows and got the job done. The first year's offspring out of those bulls, the same way, they never checked up. They hit the ground running, growing, and performed all the way through. Even when they were offered extreme conditions, they just kept right on working. And as time has gone with an Ultrablack bulls, we're steadily trying to convert our herd more over to Brangus mothers and trying to phase out the English and the colored cattle, just simply because of the better performance and also more uniformity in our calves, which is important whether we go to feedlots or if we go to the sale. The uniformity is just a big thing. The most recent groups that I've sold, we've had a 65.5% yield on those calves. They graded out, had 23% prime, 93% choice or better, and overall I gained $8 a hundred on those calves in premiums for the performance that they had versus the Kansas average the week they went out. My personal success that I've had with the Brangus and Ultrablack bloodline is just more vigor, more hardiness, more adaptive for my particular environment for sure, and I just overall just better performance.
Up next.
You want to see what the calves look like out of an Ultrablack bulls? Here they are. You're looking at calves that are 3 days off the desert.
Ultrablacks raise the bar of performance in harsh ranching environments. That's after the break here on The American Rancher.
Join the Brangus breed's leader in their innovative format for the 3rd annual Easy Access online bull sale, February 17th and 18th, 2020. This unique and laid-back approach allows you to select your next herd sire from the comfort of your home, backed by the industry's most scrutinizing selection process and the Gene Trust brand you've come to know and trust. For more information, go to GeneTrustBrangus.com. Don't miss it.
Join Superior Productions for the 5-Star Select Prime Age Gelding Horse Sale, Saturday, February 1st, broadcast live on SuperiorClickToBid.com. Schmidt Horse Ranch plus guest consigners are offering 70 quality geldings ready to go to work for you. Prospects and finished horses of all disciplines will be featured, many being NRHA and NCHA money earners. For more information, visit SchmidtHorseRanch.com. To register for a buyer's number, call Superior Livestock at 800-422-2117.
At 44 Farms, we believe work starts at sunup and doesn't stop until sundown. We believe in order to live off the land, you have to love and respect it. We believe that cattle aren't just raised, they're nurtured. And we believe when you do things right, with honesty and integrity, well, things like quality and consistency happen naturally. 44 Farm Steaks, responsibly raised all-natural beef.
Welcome back to the American Rancher. Brangus and Ultrablacks flourish in some of the harshest environments in the country, and proof of performance becomes crystal clear once Brangus and Ultrablack calves hit the bunk.
You want to see what the calves look like out of Ultrablack bulls? Here they are. You're looking at calves that are 3 days off the desert.
Modern Brangus will perform in terms of feedlot performance. They will equal basically anything that you can send to the feedlot. In terms of quality grade, we have closeouts to prove that Brangus cattle will certainly meet the new industry higher average of about 80% or higher percent choice. They have built-in heterosis, so they tend to be healthy cattle. They stay healthy in the feedlot, they stay healthy on the ranch.
We do get to feed cattle from all over the country, and so our Brangus influenced calves come from all over. One of the big key things that we like about the Brangus breed and the influenced calves is the consistency in them. I love the fact that they can handle weather as good as any classic cattle that we get to feed. And in addition to that, they're right up there at the best cattle that we feed when it comes to growth. And then we grid a lot of cattle. We're known for taking care of the upper end, the better quality cattle, and they more than hold their own on the grid too. I think we really need to focus as an industry on efficiency, and the Brangus breed has really made some good strides in moving in that direction. So we're happy with the conversions that we're getting out of them. Yes, they hit the bunk, they're aggressive on feed, and so some of our bigger consumptions for sure.
And Brangus females bred to Ultrablack bulls produce all black-hided calves.
Total kudos to the Angus industry because they have sold the black hide. And I'll give them all the credit in the world. They have done an incredible job selling the black hide. Fortunately, the Ultrablack Brangus are able to capitalize on the black hide. Therefore, we capitalize on it.
We send a large portion of our cattle to Creekstone, which is a regional packer in southeast Kansas, and they will only take black-hided cattle. And so with the Ultrablacks and the Brangus influenced cattle being able to make sure that we get that black hide on those cattle, it opens up many more marketing opportunities where we can get a better premium, a higher price for our customers.
Brangus and Ultrablacks are defined by adaptability, versatility, low maintenance, and top performance in extreme environments. On top of that, the International Brangus Breeders Association has one of the most advanced genomic programs in the industry.
Brangus breeders have made very aggressive use of all of the genomics tools available, the DNA testing. We have a very high percentage of our members who utilize that on every animal they register, which gives us a lot more information on a young animal than we had before. So we have a lot of our seed stock producers using all of these genetic tools, which we incorporate into our EPD computation. But then also we have a program for our commercial producers called Identity Brangus, which is a unique DNA test where we can essentially establish various trait level performance differences among commercial cattle, which we could provide to a feedlot, for example, or to a person looking to buy replacement females. They would want to know something specifically about the genetics, and the Identity Brangus test gives us that.
The IBBA also created Brangus Built, a value-added marketing program that is a proven profit driver for Brangus-influenced feeder calves.
Brangus Built is a way for commercial producers to identify the fact that they are using Brangus genetics. And they do that. We have ear tags. They qualify for our program. They'll get ear tags called Brangus Built right on the tag. And then when we sell those cattle, we sell those basically with the promise that these contain genuine Brangus genetics.
The seeds planted over 70 years ago in the breed's development now flourish with high-performance, low-maintenance Brangus and Ultrablack cattle. Today, Brangus cattle are a benchmark of proven profitability for ranchers in extreme environments across America.
This is not your granddaddy's Brangus bull. They have dramatically changed. They're thicker, they're deeper, they're stouter. They're just a lot better cattle than you might be thinking about. If you're thinking of Brangus from 30 or 35 years ago, it's a whole different animal today.
They've thickened these cattle up. They've sized them down. They've made them more compatible to the feed yard. They're making cattle that really work. Not just in the deep south or in the heat, they're making cattle that'll work across the board. I think you can take these cattle and go north with them. I think you can take these cattle and go, to the Pacific coast or the Atlantic coast, and these cattle will work.
That's all the time we have for today. To learn more about Brangus and Ultrablack cattle and to find a breeder near you, visit gobrangus.com. If you're interested in breeding Brangus, you can also view a Brangus semen directory on the Go Brangus website. And to find out more about us, visit our website, theamericanrancher.com, or connect with us on Facebook. I'm Pam Minnick. For our entire American Rancher team, thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.
That was superior.